We're talking about the best kept secret in home ownership. We're going to talk about a program tonight, and specifically, I'm going to interview Chris and Marcus. If you have some questions for them, go ahead and put them in the chat. At the end of the meeting, I'll let you, ask your question verbally as well. But as we're going through, if you have a question or comment, go ahead and put that in the chat, and we'll review those periodically. So we don't wait all the way to the end to clarify something that's been said. So as I mentioned, they bought their first home through this program we're talking about tonight. They moved in about 2 months ago, and they're going to tell us about the experience with it. As with all of our events, this is education, so it's up to you to take this public education and apply it appropriately to your situation. Again, if I can help you specifically, you've got my contact information there in that flyer. So let me get a few preliminaries kind of done here. Let's see if anybody else to join us before we get started. Yeah, Silver Hill Memorial, UMC, welcome. Odette, welcome. Welcome, Odette. How you doing? Oh, you missed that time where we got to hear your wonderful voice, but that's okay. We'll get to hear you at the end. Again, Donna, so great to have you. Donnell, great to have you. Kristen, Corey, you're new. Welcome, Corey. Dee, and of course, Delton, myself, and Kristen and Marcus Rivers are with us here tonight. I've got hey, I'm good. We're all good here tonight. Great. And Donna was in our previous category. Absolutely. Got your email. Awesome. Great, 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 great. Thanks for hearing about this and responding. Reason why we're doing this meeting here tonight is to bring to your attention a program to help homeowners purchase their home. And this program is better than any other program I have heard. I've heard some other new buyer programs that has a few of the things in it. I've not seen anything that has all these benefits in it, and nobody knows anything about it. So I wanted to pretty much bring this to your attention so that you, like Kristen and Marcus, can take advantage of it. I have just a couple more slides I want to start with to kind of give us a background before we start the interview. So the question is, why are we talking about home ownership, and why is home ownership so important? Is because in America, most families' wealth is tied up primarily in their home. Yes, we do have 401ks. Yes, we do have savings programs. Yes, some people start small businesses. The primary component of families' wealth in America pretty much have been tied up first in their own home. And the reason why I'm doing this real estate investing stuff is because in addition to your own home, if you acquire some more real estate or do some real estate work, you can also build wealth that way. When you're renting, you're pretty much paying somebody else's mortgage. You're helping that person build wealth themselves. When you have ownership, you're building up equity. And I'm not going to assume anything tonight. When I say words like equity is the difference between the value of the home. We're talking about your first home here, your primary home here tonight. So equity is the value of your home minus all the expenses, the primary expense being the mortgage. The difference between the two is equity. And guess what? That grows over time because the value of homes go up over time. The balance on your mortgage goes down over time, and therefore your equity grows over time. It's a wonderful thing. And you have to live somewhere. So the home that you have can also be an investment for you. Ownership brings stability. Nobody's going to kick you out. It brings tax benefits associated with it as well. And it tends to be, and it can be your most valuable asset. Real estate can be. And so again, that's why I've been promoting over the last 7 years or so, not only home ownership, but the consideration of real estate as an investment vehicle. Now, the median net worth, we're going to compare homeowners versus renters. The median net worth of homeowners in America, that's the median, is right now almost $400,000. In fact, this survey was taken back in 2022, so I'm pretty sure it's higher than that right now. The median net worth of homeowners in America, if you take all the homeowners, you take about the average, the median of the value of what they own, and net worth is the difference between how much you own, the value of what you own, minus all your liabilities, everything you owe. So if you include homes in there, which continues to go up over time, a lot of value, you begin to take out mortgages and any other debt that you have. The median net worth in America for homeowners is almost $400,000. You compare that to renters. Renters have a value of about $10,000. Now, can you see the difference there? There's about 40 times. 40 times. There's a 40 times difference between homeowners and renters. So I've been encouraging people as soon as you can get in home ownership. It's going to help you long term. I think I beat that up enough. If you have questions about this, put it in the chat and I'll clarify it. There's also a big difference in the wealth gap. Let me go back, take a step back. We as African Americans, we made great strides over the years. Thank God for the people who came before us, the folks in the 60s who gained equal rights for us. And over time, we are just about there. You take the salaries of the typical white person versus blacks and Hispanics. As blacks, we're just about there. We're just about there making the same salaries. On the wealth curve, that's a totally different story. Your typical white family wealth, here again, wealth is the value of everything that you own minus all your liabilities or all of your expenses and debt. You take the subtraction of those two numbers, that's the figure we're talking about here. So net worth talks about how much wealth do you have if you were to cash out. And so for the typical white family, that's $285,000. For the typical black family, is around $45,000. Do the math. We're not talking about, we got a little bit of ways to go. We have a long way to go. And the sooner we get started, the quicker we'll get there. Our Hispanic families are at $61,000. So Hispanics also have a ways to go. And the number one key of the difference between the two really comes down to home ownership, because home ownership is the number one driver to wealth creation in America. We're not talking about some other country, but in America, the number one driver to building wealth in America is home ownership. So that's why we're talking about this tonight. Let's stop settling for being renters, and let's see if we can get more into home ownership. Let's talk about, we're not even going to get into that yet. Yeah, the program we're talking about tonight has no down payment, no closing costs, no points, no fees associated with it, no PMI, private mortgage insurance. Anytime you put less than 20% down to purchase a home, the mortgage company is going to put private mortgage insurance on it. You pay it, they benefit, which can end up being hundreds of dollars. And so if you take PMI out, your monthly payment has dropped. So this program even takes out PMA, takes points out. They even give you a below market fixed interest rate. We're not talking about adjustable rate stuff. This is real life fixed interest rate. It's going to stay that way for the next 30 years. And no credit score. They don't base approval or qualification primarily based on credit score like all the other mortgage companies do. And they also include education and budget coaching as a part of this too. So it really turns out to be a pretty good deal. So Chris and Marcus, if you can unmute yourself, I'd love to be able to introduce you at this time, and let's get going. Can you unmute yourself?
Okay,
Chris and Marcus, how are you?
we're good.
How you doing?
We're good.
Good, I'm wonderful. So we're so happy that you're here with us tonight and tell us about your home buying experience. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, we're glad to be here as well.
Great, great, great. Before you became homeowners, what did you think it would take to buy a home?
I thought it would take a lot more money to put down. I just had always heard about putting down 20%. I did hear about the FHA loan. So we heard a lot of different things. We really weren't sure which route to take. But we were, I think, when we looked, every time we looked into it, we just got overwhelmed with
Overwhelmed, yeah.
everything. So we thought we weren't ready. We kept thinking we weren't ready. So we never pursued it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you feel like home ownership was still years away for you?
Yeah, we still thought we had a couple of years to like get ourselves together before we were ready.
Yeah, because buying a home, that's a big purchase. For most people, it's the major purchase, of their lives. You're talking
Right.
about a lot of money here. So yeah, today, especially with all the things we're hearing, right now, the the median age of first-time home buyers is now up to 40. It used to be in the 20s, and then gradually each year has been growing. So it's been harder. It's been harder and harder to buy a home, but you did it. You did it. How'd you
Right.
first find out about this program?
From you.
Well, I'm glad you heeded it because I've told a lot of people about this program. You're one of the few who actually took advantage of it. So why did you decide to take advantage of it versus all the other people kind of looked at it and were afraid and never really did anything, just kind of settled renting? What was different about you guys?
I think we were just ready to start taking steps towards home ownership. We still weren't sure like what we needed to do exactly, but we were tired of renting. We wanted to start building wealth. So we were, when we heard about it from you a couple years ago, I looked into it and then I kind of forgot about it. And then, another 2 years passed and I was just like, we just need to start getting information. So we decided to go to, they had a Achieve the Dream event and we were like, let's just go get information. Like, I'm not sure everything we need to do. I'm not sure if we have, our means and everything, but I was like, at least we can take the first step.
Stepping out, basically like stepping out on faith. Because if you don't, you won't know. What you don't know is what you don't know. If you don't step out on faith and you don't try or seize the opportunity when it's there, then
Yeah.
it most likely is going to pass you by. But you just gotta, take the information. That's what we did. Just took the information and we just went for it. And now we have the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've looked into this program and you can upload a lot of info. You can start the program online, upload stuff. Seems to take a little while to do that. You found something where you could do all this in a weekend. Tell us more about that.
So NACA has Achieved the Dream events, and I'm not sure if it's monthly or every other month, but all of the dates are on the website, and they go to different states. So they do these like everywhere, New York, Boston, like everywhere.
Jersey,
So when we happened to look into it again, it just so happened they were having an event in Maryland, and it was like 2 weeks from when we looked. So we were like, that's perfect. Let's try to go. So we registered, and when you register, they tell you what you need to bring to the event. I believe it was like a couple of months of pay stubs. I believe it was like the previous year's taxes, and one other thing, I think. That might have been it. But they just tell you to bring it, and then once you get there, they walk you through everything.
Oh, it was one thing. It was I think it was also having funds to pay for the credit check. I think that was one initial thing that they said. Make sure you have money to pay for the credit check that they're going to process in order for you to check your credit, because they wasn't going to fund you for those type of things. But that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Cool. So I've heard of people spending 2 years trying to get approved. This Achieve the Dream event was over a weekend. So how long did it take you to get approved once you went to Achieve the Dream?
One day.
One day.
That's unheard of. Nobody does that. I don't know of any other company. They might give you a pre-approval, but they actually approved you in one day.
One day.
One day.
What was it like going to Achieve the Dream? What was it like?
It was, I mean, they tell you that it's gonna be from morning to the evening, so we were kind of prepared to be there all day. When we first get there, they do like kind of like an orientation to NACA, and they play a video that's a couple of hours long, and then it just teaches you all about what NACA is, how it got started, what banks they work with, and how they're able to do this for people. And then they have a few people come in that have bought homes with NACA and give you their testimonials. And then after that, they have a process where they walk you through submitting all your documents. If you have all of your information, then you move on to the next step, which is meeting with a counselor. And if, they talk with you and they go over all your documents, and if they approve you through that process, then you go on to the next step. And the last step was getting approved for a mortgage loan. So we actually were able to go through all the processes. And then by the end of the day, we were able to get approved. Yeah.
So just be prepared. I would say just be prepared to stay there all day if it's something of that you're interested in, you really truly want, and you deserve it. You really do deserve it. I would just say be prepared to just pack a lunch, get some water, and just go through the process because it's worth that at the end of the day. And also, it's pretty interesting with the NACA program because they kind of keep you motivated with the environment and energy in there. They got a good energy in that in the NACA program, and the whole weekend is just exciting to know that you could be next. So that's pretty cool.
So as you went along through the day, they were approving people throughout the day. How did you not know other people got approved?
All day. It was amazing.
So they have like what were they called?
Which one?
It was like the clapper,
hands,
and like everyone would clap, and
yeah,
and that's how you know somebody got
the
approved.
balloons and horns, and it's like
They would celebrate.
They celebrate, yeah. They really, and it's like you'll get it once that energy is built. It's just like you're part of the environment, and it's really cool because it's like, okay, we're gonna stay because I want my claps and I want my approval, I want my whistles, and you just gotta stick through it, and it'll happen if you go with all your documents. It's there for you. It's right at the tips of your fingers. You just gotta go and go to the program.
So you guys wanted to become homeowners previously, right? So what kind of kept you from moving forward?
I think just number one, like my husband said, not knowing what you don't know. So we would start to look into things and then be like, oh, well, we don't have this in order. So, or our credit's not where we want it to be right now. Oh, or or one of us would have a job change. It would be like, okay, let's wait a few months so we can have like, everything can be like, look good. So we were always like waiting and like, just like, okay, well, we'll do it next year. And then we kind of just kept pushing it back.
Pushing it back. And I also would say, I'll piggyback on what my wife said, because like it's a little bit of fear in there, a little bit, maybe just being like declined at that time when you're really trying to go. But really, realistically, even if you don't have all the documents, you should still attend because you're already in the door. You already got through like the first 4 steps. All you have to do is probably come back the next day with the documents they're requiring, and you still, before the weekend is over, you still have an opportunity to get approved on the second day, if not the first. And that's a big deal because no one's actually doing that. No program. I don't know any program now yet that's actually going the initiative that far for you to be a homeowner, and they want you to be a homeowner in the program. When me and my wife walked in, I'm going off a topic, but it's kind of funny. Me and my wife walked in, and we was just walking in, and it was just a random lady's like, "Y'all look like y'all need to own a home. Y'all deserve a home." And we didn't even know who she was, and she just walked by. We were like, "What?" But that's the energy there. They always speaking ownership. You're an owner. You're an owner. So it's really good to be in that environment. Yeah.
Yeah. So to let the audience know, we're talking about the NACA program. I'm going to give you a little bit more information about it after the interview. But they're a nonprofit. They are approved by the government to provide housing counseling. And they also have been backed by some big banks. Bank of America is one of them. So NACA actually does the approval process, and then the bank just comes in on the back end to provide the loan and all the benefits associated with it, which we'll talk about some more. So I understand what you're saying about it was an environment, an encouraging environment, because their whole goal, the reason why they're doing this is to help more people become homeowners. That's one of their missions. That's one of their primary missions. So they provided this way for people to become homeowners. I mean, look at all the stuff they knocked out. A lot of people say, "Well, I don't have the down payment." They took care of that. The payment's too high. Well, they took, a lot of that out. Took points off, mortgage points. They took out PMI, which, is several $100s per month. So the payment's lower. They even give you a lower interest rate. interest rates are hovering somewhere around 6 and 6.5%. What kind of interest rate did y'all get?
Yeah, so
5.125.
1%.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. Nobody can get a 5%, 5.125% interest rate today.
Yeah.
Nobody does that.
Yeah.
Nobody, I want the audience to understand this. Nobody does that.
Hmm.
But because their mission is this, they're a nonprofit, they are helping in so many ways. So my mission is to get the word out some more about this. I'm gonna allow the audience here to be able to unmute yourself. So if you have a question directly for them, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask the question. And oh, by the way, there is no dumb question. We're here to learn. We're here to understand. We want to take you one step further to home ownership. Those of you who are parents, who are already homeowners, tell somebody else, tell your children, your cousins, nieces and nephews to at least look into this program. So anybody, if you have questions, go ahead and unmute yourself and go ahead and ask the question. So while we're waiting on them to think of their question, you got approved the same day, right?
Same day.
Yes.
So how soon could you go out and do house shopping?
The next day, right? The next day, I think it was the next day.
It was we had to attend the class the next day, but after that class we could.
So the next day.
Yes.
So you go to this on a weekend, they approve you that weekend, that following Monday, you can go out house shopping.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Anybody have a question for them? So how does it feel now to be homeowners? You've been in your home a couple of months now. How does it feel to be a homeowner?
Feels good.
It feels good to know that we actually took the steps and we got through it. And grace of God, we have a beautiful home, new appliances, everything new. My
Yeah.
wife was praying for that. She wanted that so bad, and it's a blessing to have that. And I'm happy for it. It feels real good to come to home to something that's yours,
Yeah.
and that you're teaching your kids, and they're watching. They're always watching.
Yeah.
Everyone else around are watching. They may not say anything, they're watching, but for you to set the tone is a blessing for others. It's a testimony. So I
So
believe.
nobody's saying you're an expert today, but
No.
you know a lot more today than you knew a year ago.
Yes.
You
Yes.
probably had a lot of fear, a lot of unknowns, and that kind of get people stuck. What would you say to people who are there now, who just don't know and that's holding them back? What would you say to them?
Can I say something first? Don't listen to other people. Don't listen to other people. Okay? Because they a lot of times we'll hear other people and it'll discourage you so much, and you'll have a plan and you'll listen to them and they'll speak that fear factor into you and that scarcity, and it just turns the table around. Just stay focused on what you want and what God told you have, because you can have it, and you go get it with you and your family. Me and my wife, we were just like, let's just go do it. Like wherever how it's going to turn out, at least we know more than we did walking in the door. And walking in that door, we actually got the house and we got approved. And we was looking at each other like, wow, what just happened? Like that's amazing. One day, that's unheard of. So don't too many people if they're not positive. I would say block out the negativity.
Yeah.
Please.
Awesome.
I would just say get the information for yourself and not, listening to what other people are saying, especially in this, economy. Like my dad was saying, well, it's harder and harder and harder now than it was for other generations, but that doesn't mean it's not possible. It's still possible, very possible. You just have to get the information. Like my husband said, stay positive. Don't tell everybody what you're doing, because they can speak negative words, and then you be like, oh yeah, well, who am I to do that right now? I don't make enough to do this and that, but it is possible if you really want it.
A lot of people, even people that I after the fact we got the home, they said, "Oh, I tried NACA and it didn't work out for me." And that's just like, how didn't it work out for you? What didn't you do on your part that you needed to do? Because, like I said, some people get discouraged because the fear factor always kick in. Like, oh, you don't deserve it. You think you're gonna get a house, or you just gotta just go through it. Just go through the program and just Just take the necessary steps. Now, if you go to the program rather versus going through the portal, it's longer through the portal. You getting everything near that day, they get everything done through the portal. You got to keep continuously trying to reach out to the reps and everything and get on their time and make time to do all this. You just go and do it. Just gang, just nip it in the bud and just go and just get it done.
I think that's what happened. I think people try to do the portal and all the questions not answered, or they may upload the wrong thing. It just takes a long time to go back and forth. You upload something, they say, no, it's wrong. You got to upload something else, and it can get frustrating. But this weekend to remember, I'm sorry, this achieve the dream. I think
Conference. We
wrong
remember
conference.
that one
This
too.
this achieve the dream weekend event. It sounds like a good thing to just be able to come. People are holding your hands. They tell you what to bring. Even if you forget something, you can come back the next day and bring what they're looking for. Get it done. Just get it done that weekend. You get approved. Even if you don't get approved, they'll tell you what you need to
Still
do.
need at least like you could still start the process and be on like step 2 or 3. Even if you don't finish everything, they're gonna say, okay, well, you got a counselor now. They're gonna reach out to you. They're gonna do this, and they give you like the next steps to keep going. Doesn't
Yeah,
mean you're not gonna get your house. You may have just need to get one more document or something like
right.
that.
Well, you two were doing something in advance. First of all, you were getting your finances in order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Because I heard you were doing what program to kind of manage your finances over the years? What was that?
We started Dave Ramsey
Dave
program in
Ramsey.
Yeah,
2024.
yeah, yeah.
So like a year before we had started kind of trying to get our finances in order.
And my understanding with it with NACA, they're not going so much by credit score. They may start you and kind of find out where you are, or may, check to make sure, because they can find out what your bills really are there. Um, But what they really are looking at, they're looking at your income, where you're working, how long you've been working there. They do it the old-fashioned way. They look at your income and your expenses, what your bills are.
Mhm.
Have you been paying your rent on time? Have you been paying it consistently? How long have you been paying the rent? I think they approve you for what you've been paying rent for as long as you've been doing that consistently. They'll
Mhm.
start you right there. And then, of course, you want to increase it because your mortgage payment is probably going to be a little more than paying your rent, but it's a
Right.
place to get started. Somebody wrote up here in the chat, was there any real estate agents involved in the process on your side of buying a home through NACA?
Yes, so they do. NACA provides you a real estate agent that works with NACA, so they already know the NACA process, all the rules and regulations. But if you already have a realtor in mind, they can still represent you. They just have to go through like a NACA class to be aware of all of like the way NACA does things. So you can use an outside realtor if you want, but we didn't have a realtor, so they provided a realtor for us.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
We did this in person on Tuesday night. There was a realtor in the room who had actually gotten approved by NACA just to do this program. So
Yeah.
yeah, outside realtors can get approved to represent NACA
Yeah.
applicants. Cool.
Yes.
Let's see, what would you say to one of your friends who said, I see you had a lot of success there. What do you think I should do? How should I go about this?
Been telling them to
Yeah.
look into it.
You
We
tell
we
them.
send them information and tell them that it's really simple when you like start doing it. Like it's really not this big like thing that it's not going to happen for you. It can. You just have to stick with it and start the process.
It's basically just starting the process.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, what you don't know, you don't know. So if you don't know what you need, then you won't bring it. If you don't know what you don't need, you just don't know. By going through the doors and just signing up and just going to the program itself from the start to finish, it's worth it. It's so worth it. And then when you get approved and you actually like, wow, we're going to be homeowners, then you start thinking about all the other people that need to know about the program like you're doing now, man. So it's really about if you really want to be a homeowner and generate wealth, not just for you, but to see your kids understand that how the importance of it, then you'll do it. You'll do it because I know for sure I'm one of three that of my siblings. I'm the first one to buy a home. We're the first one to buy a home. Well, I am. She's not, but I am. And that's a big deal for me because now they understand, okay, now I need to buy a home. I need to follow the fruits. Because success leave trails. You gotta follow the trails. And that's what we're trying to do. Follow the trails of
And
success.
we need more examples. As I
Mhm.
showed in the chart there, one of the big differences between the typical white family and the
Mhm.
typical black family is the white family has more home ownership.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so we got to get there. We got to get there. And
yeah.
so by you being the first sibling in your family, you've already set the bar. And they said, wow, it's achievable.
Right, right. And on
And
that
my
note, my
kids
sister is
too.
actually
So
in the process of buying a home. I had a friend at my job seeing us on Instagram buy a home. He
Yeah,
literally lives right down the road now. He went and bought a home because he had his finances in order. And he's
yeah,
only 20, like 26, single,
yeah,
26 years old. He said,
yeah,
I saw you buy a home. So now I'm looking to buy a home. I'm like, you just never know who's really watching, So
right.
it's very important to set the bar high.
Now that you're homeowners, how has that changed your thoughts about the future and your finances?
I feel like it's more exciting because you think about the equity that you're building for your
Yeah,
kids. So you're like,
mhm,
oh wow, one day, maybe we could pass this on to you guys, or maybe, we could use this for you guys
Mhm.
yeah,
to buy a house. So it's like it's exciting that we're actually doing something and not
yeah,
just letting our money just go to somebody else to build their future. We're
Right,
actually building something for ourselves and our family. So
right.
it's exciting.
It's exciting.
And here's the thing, even if your first home isn't the home that you really want, you're at
Hmm.
least starting the process.
Hmm.
Right.
You're already thinking this way. I'm building equity,
Hmm.
which means you're growing your thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that you can now sell that first house and put that into your next house.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And that's how it works. You have the opportunity to keep growing your house till you get to the house that you really want. But the key is to start somewhere, get started.
Hmm.
Right.
What's one piece of encouragement would you leave with everybody tonight?
I would say if you are interested in buying a home, start getting, or maybe within the next year, just start getting your personal finances in order. Know where you stand, like as far as your debt, your income, and just make sure you're making all your payments on time, trying to lower debt, and just getting yourself together and getting prepared. That way, when you do go and try to apply for a mortgage, that you're more likely to get approved. And I would just say start taking the steps. Like,
Hmm.
don't make it so big that you don't even want to look at it. Just take a small step. Just
Hmm.
one, get some information. Two,
Hmm.
just start looking at your finances, and then just keep going. Don't stop, and don't listen to everybody out there, and just go for what you really want.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I would say I would piggyback off my wife and say the same thing, but I'll also add to it like just know you deserve it. It's a big thing. We always like even myself is I'm always like I feel like I don't deserve it, but my wife is like, you deserve everything you believe you deserve under God. God gave you that idea, you deserve it. And I want everybody to know that you deserve, don't be afraid or feel bad for wanting more. You know what I mean? It's really crazy I can say that, but sometimes I feel like, dang, I feel like I shouldn't even go the extra mile like that because I want more. But you deserve more. God wants you to have your cup overflowing
Amen.
continuously. So just go for it because you deserve it. You actually deserve it, and people deserve to see that so they can actually believe they can deserve it. So if you go and show your testimony, they can believe in their heart and know in their heart that God wants that for them as well. So
Chris and Marcus, D just said great advice.
Yeah.
See, it's so good that you've gone through this that you can look back and say, wow, um, we went through it.
Yeah.
It is achievable, and now you can turn around and give back.
Right.
Again, if anybody has any final questions, because we're done tonight, I just want to thank Chris and Marcus so you can see a real life example and actually ask them questions. There is no dumb question. I know when you're buying your first home, there are a lot of questions, things you don't understand. You're hearing a lot. You're
Mhm.
hearing that it's harder and harder, but as you can see, it is achievable.
Mhm.
And when you get over that mental hurdle that it is possible with God's help, and
Yeah.
then you help yourself. Put your finances in order. I remember when I was beginning to buy a house, one of the things I was curtailing doing was getting more debt. I mean, you can all one of the things that kind of hurt you to buying a house is buying a new car. And I
Mhm.
know there's so much pressure to,
Mhm.
I got a good job, I'm getting good income, I deserve a new car. Getting that new car actually hurts you with your debt to income ratio
Mhm.
because they're looking at how much debt you have to approve you. The lower
Right.
amount of debt you have, the greater the opportunity for you to get approved. Let's see if there's any other questions over here. Says, what was the name? What was the name about? Let me see if I can move this down so I can read this. Yeah. What was the name about that financial program you mentioned? Need to work on my credit and finances. That was
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dave Ramsey's program. Look up Dave Ramsey. What is
Mhm.
it called? I forgot what it's called.
What was it called?
I forgot. But we got a trial. Like we had
Once you look up Dave Ramsey, like it'll
Yeah,
just
a pop.
yeah, it'll
you're
show up.
right.
It's I think it was like $100 to like
Mhm.
buy the program, but
Yeah.
it was really good because like the whole program you can take it. There's videos on there teaching you how to
Mhm.
um lower your debt.
Lower your debt. Head.
Yep.
Basically get your finances in order.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did that, and I
I think
think
that's what.
that
Yeah.
that's what helped us starting to
Yep.
get
Yep.
our finances in order.
I
Yeah.
think it was
Uh,
it a year program? Was it
I
like?
just
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Because Naga's pretty much doing the same thing that Dave Ramsey is doing. It's actually looking at your personal finance, the income, what your debt looks like, how much is left over each month, where's your money going.
your money going. It
Yeah,
kind of breaks down like for you to kind of wake up and like pay attention to your finances and what are you doing with what
yeah,
your income. Yeah.
It's really good because it actually makes you focus on
it does.
what you're spending your
Yeah,
money on,
Mhm.
yeah,
and that discipline and that diligence is how you actually become
Prepares
successful
you.
and make some and save some money.
yeah. It makes you make some choices. You really need to buy a Starbucks every morning, and
Right.
you'd be surprised over a month how much you're spending there. That could be applied towards getting approved for a house. Let's see
Mhm.
what else we got here. Let's see, using the snowball effect. That's what Dave Ramsey mentions a lot. Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Yep.
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 Yeah, so we mentioned Dave Ramsey because it helps you to get your personal finances in order because that's actually what NACA is using. They're actually looking at your personal finances. They
Yes.
wanted to see if you were saving. They were wanting to see, are you keeping a balance in your checking account?
Yep.
So
Savings as well.
they were actually checking your checking account,
Yeah.
even once you approve,
Yeah.
right? Because they
Yep.
want to make sure they've approved you and you have like 6 months to buy a house.
Right.
Mhm.
So if you messing up your finances for 2 or 3 months,
Yep.
hey, you might not be able to close. So they
Yeah.
want to make sure you staying straight,
Yes.
Right.
which is good for you anyway, which is kind of smart. So the program is called NACA program. They were founded in 1988, so they've been around for a while. They are nonprofit. They got started to fight predatory lending and housing discrimination, and they partnered with major banks, Bank of America being one of the big ones, and they've served thousands of people here. They are a nonprofit. They're HUD approved. HUD is the federal program, Housing and Urban something, to help qualify the homeowners, purchase a home, and they give you exceptional terms. Nobody else does better terms here. So it doesn't work for real estate investors. It doesn't work for people who already own a home. You can't buy a second home. You can't buy a vacation home with it. But if you do not own a home, you can get approved for this. And it's not just for first-time home buyers, and it's not just for low-income families. And it's not just for people with bad credit. It's just a program by a nonprofit to help more people become home owners. If you look on
Mhm.
their website, they give below market fixed rate interest rates. So
Yeah.
even where interest rates are in the 6%, you can at least get one in the fives. And we've already heard what Chris and Marcus was able to get. No
Mhm.
down payment, that's a biggie. Only people who can buy a house with no down payment are vets. You don't need to be a vet. No closing costs. That turns out to be thousands of dollars right there. You don't have to pay.
Mhm.
No fees, no points, and no private mortgage insurance.
Mhm.
So, but a lot of people don't know about it because they really don't advertise. This is why we're trying to get the word out about it. The approval is not based on credit score. It is based on your actual budget. They give you counselors to kind of help you along the process. You do need a NACA certified agent. A regular agent can get NACA approved so you can use them. Um, and they give you a fixed interest rate mortgage, not the adjustable rate mortgage that can change over time. No hidden fees, no gimmicks involved, what seems to be good. Now, not only can you buy a single family home, you can actually buy a duplex,
Duplex.
or
Yeah.
you can buy a triplex,
Mhm.
or you
You
can
do
buy
have
a,
to live, you do have to live in it.
You got to
yeah,
live in one of the
Yeah.
units. Yep.
One
yes.
of the units, yeah.
So what you do is you live in one unit and rent out the other. So you immediately become an investor
On your
and do
first home.
something, yeah, do something called house hacking, and then you let your renters pay your mortgage.
Mhm.
So you end up not paying any mortgages, which is a
Mhm.
pretty smart move. Um, yeah. So the term is called house hacking. You can buy a duplex, triplex, or quad and let your renters stay in the other units. You stay in one unit, charge them rent, you end up not even paying
Yeah.
for it, or letting your renters pay your mortgage, which is a
Right.
strategy that we talk about sometime in the investing area. So this is one way to get to home ownership, not the only way. We're not, I know I'm not doing this because I'm being paid by NACA. I simply want to get the word out. I have not found a better program for first-time home buyers. And so I'm trying to get the word out about it. Any final questions from anybody? Donna, Corey, Donnell, D, um, Odette, Silver Hero Memorial. Any final questions at all? Let's see what's in the chat. Thank you. Says thank you, Chris and Mark, for the encouragement, the encouraging words, and your advice. That's what this is all about. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. Any final words from you, Chris and Marcus?
Anything else you want to say?
No, no. I mean, just keep God first and just believe you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve
Amen.
everything you believe you do.
Amen.
Don't listen to people. Please don't listen to these people. Some of these people just don't know. And if they're afraid, just like you're afraid. So
Yeah.
lean on God more, I would say. And go
Amen.
for it. Yep.
Amen. Get over the fear. God is well able. He is
Hmm.
able to do exceedingly abundantly above what you can ever dare ask or think.
Yep.
This is one particular program he can use to kind of help you get there. All right.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Chris and Marcus. Thank you so much for coming tonight, sharing your wisdom. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. God bless you. Look over in the chat window. There is an online flyer that gives you some more information about upcoming events. It also gives you the contact information for Chris and Marcus if you want to reach out to them or if you want to reach out to me. Okay? God bless everybody. Have a great evening. Have
Great. Happy
fun.
Sunday.
Good night. God bless.